Cool. I think this one's working. Okay. Welcome to this week's episode of the Pit Therapy Podcast. I'm Kyle, and we've got Trevor, and we're joined by a really cool guest in Adam from Riff Valley Tacos.
What's up?
Thank you for jumping on and going through all the pain of getting this software to work. So it's been a bit to get it work. So yeah, thanks, man, for jumping on. We were talking about trying to reach out and talk to a few more people that are involved in the scene, but maybe aren't in bands and stuff like that. Because this whole scene's built up of a lot of us. People that just do what we can to support it. So we wanted to jump on and talk to you and learn more about you and Riff Valley Tacos and your background in music and all that good stuff. So thank you for jumping on.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate y'all the invite. Means a lot.
Yeah. So I guess to get started, what came first, the tacos or the music?
Um, I try to remember, but it all comes down towards being in elementary, listening to like hair metal and Iron Maiden and Megadeth. My older brother was into like thrash and stuff like that, and I think I wanted to be in a band. I wanted to tour since I was like in elementary, right? I knew that I needed like some sort of like education to some extent, right? But I remember being in high school and I remember hearing my friend that he was in a band and he would travel up like 2.5 hours to another city, which is in Corpus Christi, and he would play on the weekends, right? Well, that was the story, and and I'll just look at him like, dude, why are you still here? Like go be in a band, right?
Yeah.
And at that, this was like 98, 97, so at this time, it's there's not really much in our area, like as far as like for me to be able to how to get out there with like network with like different people my age group or like you know and I think it just spun off from that, always wanted to be in a band and falling in love with hardcore, and the first time I was like, I need to do this. Like, I need to push hardcore. Like, I was, uh, 21. I was listening to hardcore at that time already, but like not as like I wanted to build a scene here where I'm from. You know what I mean? A lot of the scene here, a lot of has to do with it was like around like being emo or like
Mm.
death metal and kind of like punk. It wasn't anything with like kind of like a hardcore rooted like fan base or anything like that, or like a scene. And I think like 2002, 2003, I saw Sworn Enemy. Dude, it was like the craziest lineup. Biohazard was supposed to play that night. For some reason, they dropped. They did not play, and it was Kitty with Sworn Enemy. Dude,
Jeez.
it was insane. It was like the hugest mosh pit, like circle pit in the world, man. And I saw that and I was just jumping around. Like I was like, man, like this just kind of like engraved into my soul, knowing like what this is where you belong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With like hardcore, and I think there was an EP there as well as the Gets hadn't come out yet. I think they're gonna be an Ozfest that year, or yeah later on, and yeah, listening to the Hatebreed albums, and I fell in love with New York hardcore, and from there my brother he's right now he's my brother's in Worst Behavior, and he's had previous bands. Me and him pretty much set the groundwork for like hardcore here where we're from, and you know, but the food came into play when we started having to feed like touring bands when we were bringing touring bands, like with First Blood.
Oh, sick.
We fed and my wife's she was vegetarian at the time, so she kind of helped me out with like making like vegan food or vegetarian food for like the touring bands. I think the dudes from No Harm Done. I don't know if you ever heard them. They're from Florida. They're like They're super fun band too. Yeah, this is like 2008 or maybe 10 ago. So yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think I've ever kept up with them lately, but that was a super fun band. That they would come like a lot all the way over here. But we built the hardcore scene, and when we started bringing more bands down, uh, I started feeding them, and I was like, you know what, I leftover food I was just giving away, and it just felt right, like a good mix. It felt like just a big party, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
adding the the variable of food into the mix of like a show. And we're talking about my first pop up I did was like in 2014 to maybe 2013, maybe 2014, yeah. So I've been doing cooking at shows for over like what 12 years already. It's gonna be 12 years. So it's
Dang.
just something that's it's just part of what we are here, like in the Rio Grande Valley, like how we define as. I don't know if there was ever been like taco street dudes, like people cooking food at a show. To
Yeah.
us, it was a normalcy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just integrating. Having a I would do shows called Pulga Fest, kind of like I guess the meat swaps, right, or something. What do they call it? Yeah, swaps, right, where you trade
Yeah.
and all stuff. I was doing those in 2007. I would have this like every spring break I would have this thing called Pulga Fest, where I'll just be a bunch of locals. People, it was during spring break. Everyone's off, right? So everyone's just selling all their stuff and just getting rid of stuff, and we're having bands play. So it's just finding ways to just grab people together and just it just felt right. You know what I mean? And it's ridiculous how how much it makes sense, but it wouldn't be done before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So let me ask you this because listen, I'm from Utah. I, because of my job, know kind of the McAllen area on a map, no actual firsthand knowledge of it. But when you say the Rio Grande Valley, so what is it? So you have like McAllen, you have like, is it Brownsville? Like, where are you located? And like, what is the valley?
The valley ranges kind of like the southernmost tip of Texas, from Sub Padre Island, the very tip, at the bottom tip, all the way towards a stretch, all the way to, I would say, an hour and a half north towards, yeah, up towards, say maybe Roma, ROMA. It's like an
Okay.
hour and a half stretch of area. I live
Okay.
kind of like, yeah, I live in between Harlingen and McAllen.
Hmm.
Kind of like called the Mid Valley. The Mid Valley.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. You know, we don't really we're kind of disconnected from everything and everyone. The closest city to us is major city would be about 2 hours, which would be Corpus. We're
Okay.
4 hours south of, about 3.5 hours south of San Antonio. So there's nothing in between. Like all you see is like grass, I guess. You know what I mean? So when you end up where we live, you're kind of like, what the hell? Like, I didn't know that. We're like so off the grid from everybody. So we kind of built and created our own world of
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's kind of what I was interested in is like, cause you said at the time, like a lot of it, was like a lot of hair metal, like a little bit of punk. Like how, I mean, if we're talking pre-internet, like not internet, but like
Yeah,
pre-MySpace,
early
I don't know
80s.
how people
Yeah,
found music
or
before that.
even
Like, how were you guys getting a hold of anything that was outside of what's being played on the radio?
um, all of it. There was like a lot of death metal bands that would come play down here. You know,
Like Texas death metal or just like death
um,
metal in general?
like death metal. Like there was a couple promoters here that would bring bands from Texas death metal bands down here. So the Texas death metal scene was like has always been like popping. You know what I mean? Even like in Mexico, like we live in a border town, so like 8-10 miles from us, we have two major cities from Mexico, like that have like I think they might have over 1 million people right now in
Mm.
those areas. So a lot of like Mexico death metal bands will come over here also. So it's I don't yeah, it's just I'm trying to remember what bands I've seen.
Well,
Uh,
so
but
while
yeah,
you're
you
kind of
know,
thinking about that,
what's up?
while you're thinking about that, so you said that like you started to bring like hardcore in, right? You were listening to, you
Yeah,
said Hatebreed and a few bands like
Hatred,
that.
Corn
So
Disease.
like, was it a group of friends that started doing this, or was it literally like you and your brother and just being like, "Hey, there's two of us here who want to see you. Come down." Like, what's going on?
A lot of it was like my brother was in high school at that time, and I was like college. You know what I mean? And at this time, I was selling like band shirts, kind of like the shirt like kind of like Hot Topic, but we didn't have a
Mhm.
Hot Topic at that time. It was kind of like a booth, and it would sell like different types of like metal shirts or like punk shirts, right? And I literally ripped off the info from one of the boxes because I got tired of dude never having any of the shirts I wanted, right? So I got some of the distributors' names and information, and I contacted some of these companies, and I was like, "Hey, I want to start selling, some of these shirts, some of these bands," and I was selling them out of my mom's flower shop because she had like a big flower shop. So I had like a little section where like I would have like all my death metal or like metal shirts or like some hardcore shirts. I didn't have too much hardcore because people really really be into hardcore at that time. You know
Mm.
what I mean? So at that time, I got in contact with Victory Records. Victory Records were sending me a lot of Thursday Taking Back Sunday stuff. Silver, like I remember, I still have some of the Silverstein promos before their release, like the first one easily. They'll send me CDs, a snap case, and yeah. So I'll just get stuff, and then I would pass it out. I'll give it to my brother, like little samplers. And he'll just pass them out. You know what? This isn't fully hardcore, but at least it's somewhere in the lines of like hardcore. You know what I mean? And we'll just block. Victory would send me maybe like 500 to 1,000 samplers, and we'll just pass them out everywhere and everywhere. Like you know what I mean? And since I had a little stand at my mom's flower shop where I would sell like punk and metal shirts, that's how I started networking. You know, more. I would go to some of the death metal shows off and on, but I didn't really feel like it was like my vibe or whatever. But I was cool with everybody. You know what I mean? But as far as like us trying to build our hardcore scene, my brother was like pretty much. I told my brother I was like, okay, like we need to find people that have any interest of anything that we might be into. You know what I mean? And if not, at least some sort of talent, like at least some sort of knowing how to play, have like power chords or something, right? And pretty much just mentor them and show them like we need something like this sound, right? So it started off like that, just showing people bands, and a lot of times it was just my brother's band and me, and that's all we had.
Sick.
That's
Yeah,
that's that's like super cool,
it, it, it,
to
was, it was a little rough, especially when I'm
sure.
trying to go off and like people don't understand. People trying to like test me, be like, "Oh, is this guy trying to like? What is this guy doing? Why isn't he push moshing? You know what I mean?" So it's a lot of times we were heavily outnumbered, but when you want something bad enough, this is you
Yeah.
have everything to lose, right? So
Yeah.
Man, that's so cool because we've talked to a couple like different bands, different people and stuff. And just the like DIY nature of hardcore is something so unique. Like I think it was Mark from Time Heist. He used to live in New Mexico and he was like, "Yeah, we used to just like message bands and be like, come to New Mexico and we'll host you and we'll like put you up and stuff like that." And literally built a scene just kind of ground up. And
yeah,
it sounds like you kind of were doing the same thing down there. So obviously, like you guys are the south part of Texas, not getting quite as much stuff, but then you had the stuff up north. So when did like Texas, like hard Texas hardcore start coming down into the valley?
a lot of it had to do. I ended up moving. My friend, he had a girlfriend at the time. She ended up moving. He needed a roommate in UT, in Austin area, and at this time, we had kind of gone to some hardcore shows. Like I think I saw we saw Hoods in Corpus one time. My brother
Mm.
did. Oh, I went to Sounds of the Underground with Terror and Madball.
Sick.
So we're already,
Yeah.
yeah. So we're already in the verge of like, well, I think Poison the Will play that one. So we're already getting some traction. Last thing I wanted was to invite a band over and us not have like the representation. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I didn't want to give that. I guess that look like we weren't where we needed to be. Right? Like I felt like we
Yeah.
still needed to have the groundwork laid out. So we're already getting traction. My brother's band's getting. People are buying in. People are saying like, "Hey, these hardcore kids aren't going anywhere." We're heavily involved in everything and anything. You know, I had a grind band, like a power violence band at that time,
Sick.
and dude, I was getting on anything and everything. I didn't care. Like people want you want to walk out, walk out. I literally just ruined your day. uh, I would go tell the promoter, "Hey, in between bands, my band's gonna play." Like, wait, what? I was like, "Yeah, there's outlets over there. We're gonna set up, and when that band finishes, we're gonna play. And if it takes the band that's next 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes to play, to set up to play, that's how long we're gonna play." So I wouldn't even ask like, "Well, can we play this show?" I'm like, "No, like this is gonna
I was
happen."
plugging and playing.
Yeah, and as soon as the band
Amazing.
was ready, we'll just say, "Yeah, just cut it." I'll stop like halfway into a song. Our songs are like a minute and a half, anyways, right? So.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just like, yeah, we're not going anywhere. You're like
That's
you're forced to deal with us.
that's cool. What I mean, yeah, what a cool like thing to be able to look back on. Did you have bands that were like, no way, we're not going to McAllen? Not because like you didn't have the scene or things like that, but just I mean, you probably had bands too that were like, I don't even know where that is.
Yeah,
That's
and
way out of the way, right? Like,
yeah, it
you
is.
know,
Way it's ways out of the way getting here, and then ways out of the way to getting out of here. Like if you're in San Antonio, you have to drive like almost 4 hours to get here, and then 4 more hours to get to San Antonio. So like we're about 8 hours from Lubbock. 5 6 hours from Houston. So it's like no, like logistically, like I wouldn't blame someone not wanting to come,
yeah,
right? You know what I mean? But
yeah,
let me backtrack. So I moved to Austin for like 8 9 months. That's when I started meeting with Ryan, from Liberty and Justice. He was in 10 Crowns
Sick.
at that time. Uh, I did kind of like a small, like I was in the band, but then I wasn't, with Safe Serenity. They were from like San Marcos, like Houston, South Austin area.
mm,
They're a good hardcore band, and I played a couple shows with them, but then things fell off, and then I ended up moving back. But a lot of with Ryan and Rob from Will to Live. They're the first guys I talked to, and even Boogie and Gabe from Five Families and Full Contact. They're the first ones that we talked to. Some of the dudes from Corpus, uh, uh, Ben Ben from Corpus. A lot of these guys, they just, we were going. We're not going to network. We're just going to hang out and like enjoy a show. Seeing Iron Age go off, and it's just hanging out and just meeting people and just like enjoying a hardcore show without having to worry about freaking getting
yeah.
pushed from the side, and like, you know, it's just fun, just a good environment. So I think a lot of that, we started going to more shows because I felt like, okay, now we can try to bring someone in because, well, we can. It's so sustainable to an extent, right? And yeah, we brought some of the dudes from Laredo. We brought Full Contact, I
Dude,
believe,
full
came in.
contact's so good.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is that what helped was like, I don't know if there's a map or somewhere, but there's a city called Matamoros, Mexico. So if you go to Brownsville, the border town for Brownsville, which is like right off the border from Bronzo is Matamoros. Matamoros had like this crazy thriving hardcore scene in that area already. So while we were building our stuff up, my brother and I and my wife at the time, or my girlfriend at the time, my wife, we would drive over there, which is an hour from here. We'll drive to Bronzeville and then just cross the border in our vehicle, and we'll hang out at hardcore shows in Matamoros in Mexico.
Sick.
That's
So,
cool.
dude, it's like literally like block parties. They'll shut down the street, and there'll be a huge circle pit or like a like a hardcore pit, like on like the road. You know what I mean? You like it was like people selling agua frescas, and like it's just like, dude, it's just maybe that's where I got the idea. You know what I mean? I have a couple
Yeah.
friends that are vegan uh in Matamoros that also kind of like told me like, yeah, dude, like I'm like, what the hell? Like they introduced me a lot of like foods or like flavors. I was like, what the hell? Like this, like how y'all make this or how y'all do this? But like, it's a trip, man. It's a trip, just like crossing the
Do you,
border, and everything's just so different. Like it's an injustice, right? But
yeah.
it's a beautiful thing that like we come together, like if we're like literally family because of hardcore.
Yeah.
Do you remember any of the like Mexican hardcore bands? I just
Yeah, actually, yeah.
it would be
There's a
cool
band.
to like go look them up and stuff because I mean, look, the only band from like Mexico, they're not hardcore, they're like a deathcore band that we ever found was Here Comes the Kraken.
Oh, okay, yeah. I went on tour with them. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Oh, nice.
For real?
That's
Yeah, in
crazy.
Mexico for like a couple of days. Uh, dude, I don't even know where to go with that, but yeah, yeah, yeah. They're cool dudes, but there's so much more. There's good stuff over there. There was this. So Matamoros has this band. This is a really rowdy band. Vengeance of Dogs. Dogs with a Z. I think they just did like a little like they did a song. Uh, like a video, just not a video, but their song. They just released a song a couple of weeks ago.
Hmm.
Dude, it's so damn good. Like I love it. But these guys are like beer drinking, cocaine sniffing, like women loving like animals, bro. like these guys, like these guys party. They straight up live it, dude. And like yeah, they have a crew called EDH Everyday Hate, and like I don't yeah this is like a long time ago, but they released a song recently. I don't think they're officially back. I think they just did it kind of like as a way to reminisce like the good old days or whatever, you know what I
Mhm.
mean. But they were really good. And then from going one extreme to the other one is Unbreakable Faith. They're a hardcore band, and a straight edge hardcore band, and by a lot of like hate breed, but they called them Los Gordos because they were all like big dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were awesome. And then every year there was this called Monterrey Hardcore Super Bowl, which is like a 2.5 hour well, like a 2 hour drive deep into Mexico, not deep into further into Mexico, and Monterrey, Mexico. I guess Monterrey, Nuevo Leon. They had a hardcore Super Bowl every year. Uh, they had bands from all over Mexico play that fest. They had like maybe like 15 to 16 bands play that fest, and
Sick.
a couple of times Die Young went
Hmm.
over there, and Mo to Live went over there. I think they even had Folsom. Yeah, we had Folsom one time called a Preserve.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, nice.
The thing that ended up working, like they would play here in McAllen, and they would stay with me, and then we would drive to Matamoros with like the bands, and then from there we had a charter bus that my friends from Unbreakable Faith would rent out. Would all put in like $20. So from Matamoros, we would drive like the 2 hours to Monterrey, Nuevo Leon, to the hardcore show. So literally, a charter bus would pull up, and we'll see all of us from like Matamoros and the Valley, and like the touring
That's
bands
cool.
get off. Dude. It was the craziest thing. It was so much fun. But like, yeah, so a lot of the routing they would end up playing McAllen, and then I would kind of like help them cross, and then they would do their run through Mexico. I did that with Despise Icon. Despise
Oh,
Icon
geez.
played the Valley. I didn't go with them because I had work. I couldn't get off work, but
Yeah.
and then Set Your Goals. You ever heard of Set Your
Oh
Goals?
hell yeah!
Yeah. We
Set
love
Your
set your
Goals, dude.
goals.
I got this crazy story with Set Your Goals. It's like the worst thing, man. They went on. They did like a Mexico run, right? I think they played. They were gonna. No, they didn't play here first. We got them into Mexico. My friend, my friend picked them up in Reynosa, which is Reynosa is like the border town of like near McAllen, and and then they were like, oh, they're gonna be back. I don't know what day, dude. I get a call like around 3 in the morning, like, hey, Set Your Goals is they're already at the border. I'm like, bro, it's like 3 in the morning. I was like, fuck. I was like, oh my god. I was like, okay, dude. I got this like small little like 4 door car, right? Like, okay, they're all gonna fit, right? Dude, keep in mind it's like 3 in the morning, right? I get there and then they're like, I cross the border. I'm like, I look at all their stuff. It's like, dude, they're not gonna fit with all their stuff. Like, dude, I we load up my car full of like merch, equipment. Like, dude, I'm literally like half. I feel like about half of my body is trying to cross back into the U.S. and like all my cars like full of like Set Your Goals merch and like equipment. I'm like, dude, this guy's gonna pull me. Like, they're gonna pull me to the side. They're gonna look through this entire car. I was like, dude, I'm so screwed. Set Your Goals crossed. They walked right, and the border patrol guy looks at me. He's all like, he's like, what's all this? I was like, man, there's a band that just played like Mexico. They did a tour. Like, I'm just trying to cross their stuff over. He's like, do they have any? Is there any drugs in there or any so whatever, like narcotics or whatever? Right? I'm just looking at him like, nah, man, I'm just trying to get back home. Like, he just looked at me. He's like, all right, go. I'm like, oh, thank God.
Oh, sick.
I'm like, but that one was like rowdy. I think I had another story where like we got stopped in the border because we were in Matamoros. I think the was it Fight Like no, it wasn't Fight Like Hell. I forgot the guitar player for Folsom, but I think they're his that newer band. Um, we got
Spirit
stopped.
World.
Spirit World, yeah. So Spirit Folsom / Spirit World. They played Mexico. We played Mexico, and we're trying to cross them over. They stopped us, and I think when some of the dudes had like face tattoos, so we asked him like, "Yo, why are you stopping us?" Right? He's like, "Oh, because tattoos flagged y'all. Like, we're automatically because you have face tattoos. Like, we're getting pulled over." And they asked the guitar player Sparrow, and my mind went blank, bro. He's like, "Are you a U.S. citizen?" He just looks at him. Dude, he takes off his shirt. Huge ass American eagle with like a crest. He's like, "What do you?" He takes it out. He's like, "What do you think?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, dude." Dude, I was like, this is awesome. But yeah, they're usually cool, but a little. Sometimes it's like, damn, bro, I don't know what's gonna happen. But yeah, with the see you next Tuesday. Here comes the crack, and we did like a run. I went as a run in a run with them in Mexico. It was pretty
That's
cool.
cool.
You remember Rhinoceros from Buffalo, straight
Yeah.
edge man? Yeah, I went on a run through Mexico with them too. Yeah,
Oh,
the
sick.
Joe Rhinoceros.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, I think he had like a pizza place. I think he like might have closed up. I think recently. As he owned like
Mm.
a boxing gym too. Great guy.
So
That sounds like a Buffalo band own
yeah,
a
Yeah,
pizza
seriously.
place and a boxing gym. Like, there's nothing more Buffalo than that, right?
yeah,
So
man. But yeah, dude, yeah, so many bands. Yeah, I brought down my brother and I. We brought down. It's just like yeah, so it's just accumulation of like what are we? Since 2003, we've been trying to get at this. We bought our scene around 2005. We started bringing bands down. Our first out of town band we brought was Dynasty from California.
Oh, sick. Yeah.
Yeah,
yep.
that was the first band we ever brought. And then from there, I was like, you know what? I think we can actually, yeah, I think it's time, man. I think we can start like networking a lot harder, start pushing band, like start build up our scene, and
So how did you like build the scene in McAllen though? Did you I mean I know you were selling shirts and stuff and passing stuff around, but were you going to like other shows and being like, dude, you guys should come check out?
well, yeah, the way it started was one since I was already like selling like more mainstream band shirts, like still underground, right? I was already getting to know like people that were in bands or like people that just went to like local music scene already, right? Kind of gave me like a ticket in, to try
Yeah.
to be like, to network, you know what I mean? Because I'm passing out flyers, I'm trying to do my thing, not really trying to push hardcore yet, but I'm trying to get people to you know buy some of the shirts
Hmm.
that I have, and so that helped me in, trying to be able to get onto shows, and I'm already going to the shows, and as far as like building a scene, it all started with like when we started my brother's band, Determined to Defeat, at that time, and my band, we were trying to like do our own shows, kind of like break away from that and just like trying to build our shows. I started booking a lot of the younger bands, bands that were just hungry, uh, bands that just wanted to have somewhere to play. My philosophy was always like, yeah, it's cool. You want to email me, you want to play a show, but why don't you come to the show? We'll talk and we'll hang out. Prove to
Mm,
like I don't need to read an email or like a DM. Like I need to see you here, like involved.
Yeah.
I need to see you like buy a band shirt or just talking that playing to the bands. Last thing I want is for you to play and then just dip,
Hmm.
which a
yeah.
lot of people would do that, and some people that did that be like, all right, no, like yeah, like I'm not gonna coddle anybody. Either you're
Yeah.
about it or you're not. I'm not gonna give you like ultimatums or whatever. Like your body language and what you show me is worth more than me knowing if you're invested in this or not, and for what reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's
one
like
thing
that.
we've always said, what do we say, Kyle? Hardcore is for everybody, but
But
not
not
for
for
everybody.
everyone. Yeah, it's for everyone. Like it's yeah, what's that saying? Hardcore is for everyone, but it's not for anyone. I don't know. It's for anyone, but it's not for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of people who just come in and they think that they understand what they're getting into or want to be part of. And then something goes down and they're like, yeah, nope.
Yeah.
This
Well,
is not what we're going to be doing.
you know,
So,
there's also a lot of responsibility for you guys in a place like, you know, South Texas that's so detached. I mean, we grew up in Salt Lake City and we were kind of our own bubble too, right? I mean, we're 5 hours from Vegas, we're 6 hours from Denver or whatever. Like we're our own little bubble too. And if you don't nourish, and it sounds super cheesy, but like if you don't nourish that scene, like it dies so easily,
yeah,
right? Because you're not Dallas, it's gonna get bands from everywhere
no,
that
yeah, and a
come
lot of
through,
bands that
like
are a lot of bands that are going like one like from east to west or west to east. They'll hit up Dallas, you know, and then they'll just jump back up. They won't even hit San Antonio or Austin.
yeah,
And you're wearing a Drain shirt, right?
I am, yeah.
Yeah, Drain came and played the Valley. My
That's sick.
friend,
sick.
my friend, told me, he's like, "Hey, I want to do a show. I have this band, these bands from California. I want to play." He was like, "Fine, dude." I did the flyer. I promoted. I ran it with him, and yeah, supposedly like they couldn't get a show anywhere, but we gave him a show.
Yeah.
You know,
So sick.
later on they didn't. Later on, I think I remember hearing they ended up playing like some fest, or ended up playing somewhere in Austin, and they said along the lines, "I give it up for McAllen." You know, they give us a show when no one else wanted to, quote unquote, somewhere around along the lines of that.
Yeah.
Like, like, dude, want to come? Let's go. It doesn't matter how many friends you have on MySpace or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was cool. It was cool. Trying to think of some other bands I brought down. Impending Doom. I brought Impending Doom one time too.
They're super sick.
That's cool.
Nah, but yeah, Death Before Dishonor, like like multiple times. Yeah, but it's just,
So
just trying to
what about
make.
the like what about the local scene down there? I mean, has it thrived? You know, we talked to Alex Longoria because he was
Oh yeah,
filling in for Die Young, and we snagged him to jump on and talk to. And I don't know if he's from down. I think he's from Laredo, right?
yeah.
He might be down
Originally
that
from
way.
Laredo. Yeah, me
Okay,
and Alex. Alex is one of the few dudes that one of the first few dudes that we met and we hung out and we've clicked. We've known that guy for like
cool.
20 years, 19, 18 years or so. But like, slept at
Yeah.
his parents' house on the carpet. You know what I mean? We've seen each other grow as like as humans. It's crazy. Like, uh, going to go see Rancid. Together in Austin,
That's cool.
sleeping in his apartment. Yeah, dude, it's like, yeah, man, I love it.
Yeah. Was it hard to build the local scene? Because I know there's bands down that way now, right? Like,
Hmm.
how is it
Yeah,
thriving now? Do you feel like it's gotten easier with like because it's more accessible, right? Like I feel like kids these days, like it's a lot easier to get into it. You know, you don't have to call record labels to try and get
yeah,
stuff sent out to you. You know what I mean? Like it. So how is the scene thriving? Do you think it's in a good spot? You know?
yeah. It's young. It's definitely young. I feel like through the past like 20, I guess 23 years, of us trying to build our scene. There's people that have come and gone, and that's fine. Everyone has their seasons. I don't book shows anymore. I used to be like, you know, I think 2019 was the last show I booked,
Mm,
and I never thought I would stop booking. I just felt like because it was just so, I was so dedicated. It was just second nature, through my life, going through everything, how life throws at you. I was still doing it, but I guess it took a whole pandemic to derail me from from doing from doing shows, right? But that's when I started. At that time, I was doing. There was a time when I did a show. I was running sound. I was charging door, and I was selling tacos at the same time. At the same time, dude, I had the
Crazy.
perfect setup. Like I had my money box, I had my PA right here, where like 10 channels, and then I had like my
Skillet to
taco.
your side.
Yeah, dude, I was literally like this, and like, dude,
That's insane.
at that time, my brother was playing out of town, and I don't know what happened where like no one could like people. I'm always, I have amazing friends, but some reason or not, like I was the only person that was able to like man the ship with everything. I was like, whatever, dude. I was like giving wristbands, charging people, and dude, I was like, I wasn't even
It's
tripping,
crazy.
dude. I was just like, this is gonna happen.
Yeah. Dude, that's crazy, man. Respect to you. It's like, and I say this with like the utmost respect that like it takes people like you to keep a scene like this going. You know, like me and Trevor just have a dumb podcast. Like we don't do anything. You know, like you're the one that actually has skin in the game and did it. So like seriously, mad respect to you, dude. That's
Like,
awesome.
yeah, it's just, yeah. I don't think. I think, yeah. I think now, like the scene right now is, it's young. It's. I think we had CMI in the summer. My brother brought CMI down, Haywire, and yeah, man, it's just he's doing it, man. My brother's been setting, kind of like started running and taking over with everything,
Yeah.
Sick.
and yeah, we have worst behavior. He's the guitar player for there. Glaire's originally from here. I think some of the members still live here, like one or two members, and we have Mankind, Inconvenient Truth. Also, yeah, there's some stuff lined up. I think we have Fear of Loss is coming down here in like a couple of weeks.
Mm,
So they're always like a fan favorite. I've
sick.
seen I've
Yeah.
seen people. I sold tacos at No Sleep Fest, and I swear I saw people from all over the map with Fear of Loss shirts. It was
Yeah.
awesome.
So
So,
Yeah.
sick.
so
They're
many
cool.
designs. There's so many designs. I'm like, what the hell? I've never seen that logo before. I've never seen that shirt. I'm kind of like, damn, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's sick. So let's jump over. Let's talk about Rift Valley now. So you gave us a little sneak peek. It sounds like girlfriend, wife was vegetarian.
Yeah.
And then was it just bands that were like, hey, we're vegan? And so that forced your hand into the veganism? Or
I
where
think
did veganism start for you?
with Daniel from Da Young, that he had a like a vegan vegan band called Band of Mercy.
Mm-hmm. So good.
Yeah, I had already been like, like I was 20. I think I was gonna be 29. Yeah, I turned 20. I was gonna be 29. I was gonna hit 30. I was 29, and I told myself like, you know what? I need to stop. I need to stop. Like, if I feel convicted for something, like I need to stop. You know what I mean? Like, I need to be more of a man about this. And I saw Band of Mercy play here. My friend booked it, and that day I was like, this is it. Like, I'm down. Like I'm not doing this anymore.
So that's what, 13 years ago, give or take?
Yeah, yeah, about
Okay.
13. Yeah, I was vegetarian for 2 years. Yeah, 14, 14. I was gonna be 14 years. I was vegetarian for 2 years, and then went vegan. And a lot of it has to do with my friends from Mexico. You know, there's this band, straight edge hardcore band called Una vez fui ciego. I was once blind. They're like X. I was once blind X. X una vez fui ciego X, and they're from Monterrey. And uh, yeah, I think a lot of it just talking to them, hanging out when we did the tour when we did the run with See You Next Tuesday and Here Comes the Kraken. Uh, they were driving the van for
Oh, sick. Okay.
See You Next Tuesday, and I was like hanging out with them and hanging out with the dudes from See You Next Tuesday. So we got talking a lot. You know what I mean? About everything and anything, right? Them and my Matamoros friends, Baldi uh, and Domingo. A lot of it came from like conversations having with them, and they think watching Band of Mercy play here kind of just like solidified everything. Where I was like, you know what, this is it, like, bro, like I'm not gonna live my 30s eating meat at all. And yeah, later on, like I went vegan, but yeah, it's been yeah, that's how it happened, man.
Yeah.
It's
So
just
I guess because I have a couple questions about that, and before I do, I want to ask like, is Rift Valley mostly just tacos like for fests and stuff for shows, or do you actually do like pop ups on the street and sell
no
like to the public and stuff?
the I had, with Rift Valleys, been doing it for around 12 years or so. It was always kind of like when I had time, at that
Mm-hmm.
time, like, going to school, like, I'm a teacher, I've been, and I'm also a coach for football. I'm also
Oh,
doing girls.
sick.
I'm doing girls soccer I'm halfway into my soccer season with my
Oh,
soccer girls right now. So
cool.
I don't know, man. I think that's why it's like when I started teaching, I told me, like, I was like, okay, like something has to give. Like I can't do like all this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was running sound. I was running sound for like other shows and stuff like that. Just because I had a system, dude. I would charge my friends like $50, like to run sound. It was more like just
Yeah.
trying to help people out. 'Cause, but I started teaching, and I was like, you know what, I'm not doing sound anymore. I'm not gonna book shows anymore. I'm just gonna teach. Get good and enjoy my what I do. And once I felt, I feel now like I think last year I started like kind of just like doing like a shift into like really pushing Rift Valleys. But before all that, it was just more like when I had time, or when it was, I want to say
Mm.
convenient, but when the opportunity came, I would sell.
Yeah.
Devin, he would do a fest, Hope for Shelter or something like that. I can't remember the name of the fest. Devin would do a fest, and I sold a couple times at that fest, like ways years ago. Also, Hard Times in Laredo, I would go sell over there, but it wasn't mostly uh, like me go sell. Yeah, I guess I would go sell tacos there, but it wasn't more like as more as serious as I'm trying to push it now.
Yeah, yeah,
We're trying to get out there. I would do local, mostly local shows, and thing is, like, I was rooted towards music because, like, I'm DIY, right? DIY. So
yeah,
I have a generator, so a lot of the times I would always pitch it like, let me set up anywhere and everywhere. Like, I don't care, like, permits, no permits. I don't, you know,
yeah,
like, whatever, man. I'm all about just making things happen, just setting up,
yeah,
and it's but but I think
yeah.
just the
So
guerrilla mentality, you know what I mean, just setting up anywhere and everywhere and just making things happen. But
yeah, yeah. No, that's awesome. And the reason why I wanted to ask is because, like, look, man, I've eaten a lot of tacos in my day. Like, how is like the perception of a vegan taco received, especially in a place like South Texas, like a lot of Latinos and
yeah,
obviously lots of tacos. Like, did you get pushback or were people like curious to try it?
I
You know,
I think I guess I was more like in a safe zone because I was like selling to people that I knew. I knew, right?
yeah,
But I remember my friend, he would book like a lot of like D beat, like thrash punk bands, and he did a show at this like really Mexican bar called Chula's bar. Like, that means pretty, right? Chula means pretty. And all these Mexican women, like older women, right? They're like, estás vendiendo tacos? Like, oh, you're selling tacos? I'm like, yes, sí, estoy vendiendo tacos. And déjame probarlos or whatever, right? They bought tacos, bro. They loved them. They were like, I didn't even tell them they
you didn't
were,
tell they're vegan.
bro. I don't know. I don't know. Like, to me, it's just like, dude, I'm not gonna put vegan. Just at the end of the day, like, it tastes badass.
Yeah,
People are gonna enjoy them. Like, I'm not gonna whatever, man. If they ask, I'll say yes, they are vegan. Other than that, I'm not saying anything. But, like, yeah, they gave me that, like, yeah, these are really good. This
you
yeah,
got
they
this. You
enjoy.
got the stamp of approval.
Yeah, by
yeah.
the señoras there at Chula's bar. Those
There you go. Sick.
middle-aged Mexican ladies who cannot speak any a word of English, like, giving me that approval. We're like, yeah, your tacos are badass. I'm like,
Well,
That's
hell
a
yeah.
good
dude,
feeling.
we said it. We said it after the fest that we got them at. Like, they are phenomenal.
Yeah,
Like, they are so good, and you really wouldn't know unless like people were there telling you, like, hey, these are vegan. So, like, what is listen, we're gonna get foodie here, but what is the base? Like, what do you
It's
build the base out of?
it's TVP. It's kind of like a dehydrated soy, and I think a lot of it is just like the marinating. I've been at this, what, like 12, 13 years. So a lot of it has to do with knowing what works for you. What flavors do you want to bring to life? And it's just, honestly, it just feels natural. And I don't even second guess anything. I'm just like sucked in the zone, and I'm just putting in work. You know what I mean? And I remember, I remember when my mom found out I was selling tacos. You know, uh, God bless my parents. My dad, I think he ended up dropping out when he was like in elementary, and my mom ended up dropping out and ended up going back and finishing high school. So we don't come like from a root of like people that go to college or anything like that, right? So that's why one of my goals was like to graduate college, and I have a master's degree in sports administration
Sick.
and a bachelor's in advertising public relations. But like, my mom was like, "Fuiste al colegio y para nomás pasar tacos," and I'm all like, my mom's my mom straight up just telling me like, "Why the heck did you go to college if you're just gonna be selling tacos?" But but I knew where she was coming from. But it's
yeah,
like, at the end of the day, it's just something that brings me joy. I think feeding people and seeing people happy, like, it really, like, it's a high. You know what I mean? And just
Yeah.
being able to people to experience like my region, the culture of my region, like pretty much being teleported to where I'm from. The smells, the cooking of it, the flavors. For you to be able to taste something that's just so natural to where I'm from. You know, I think that's a whole nother like mission in itself.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the
That's
reasons why I try to go out of town. You know what I mean? So much because I feel like a lot of times maybe like people don't know we exist down here. You know what I mean? And there's literally like over 1 million people here already. It's pretty crazy how much it's like exploded like in population down here. But yeah, man, it's
that's cool.
yeah, it's just just trying to make things happen, man. Because I
Have
feel like
Have you ever thought of doing the Great American Food Truck Race or whatever that's called?
nah, I don't
That
nah.
all right. So when did you start doing like fests? Because I know you guys have done like flyover a couple times, right?
Yeah, 3 times. Done them three
And you're
times.
Okay,
slotted for LDB.
Yeah, we did. We they actually hit me up during before flyover, kind of like confirming, talking like, yeah. They sent out a survey, and our name got dropped in the survey like a lot. So
cool.
they sent us that message, but they were there. I think they were there, right? Some of the dudes from LDB were there. They got the tacos, so I got to meet them real briefly. I didn't really go into conversation because our lines were like they didn't give us a chance to even look up. You're trying to not look up. I'm too busy just trying to knock them out as fast as I can. So,
Yeah,
but but yeah, man, I'm excited for LDB because I think it's just gonna solidify what we're doing and just seeing the fruits of of your labor is another thing too. And knowing that these people are not eating meat when they could easily be eating meat is a whole
yeah,
nother like situation in itself. Where I was selling tacos in downtown McAllen, that's kind of like our 6th Street. So pretty much everyone gets super high, like high, maybe high, yeah, probably, but drunk for sure. And then they will head out to like taquerias or like Mexican food places, right? So before they would end up leaving, they would end up eating like tacos. So I'm kind of like, that's a win in itself right there because this guy's eating vegan tacos instead of stopping somewhere and eating like actual meat tacos. So that was already like an admission in itself where like I feel like I'm already winning, you
yeah.
know. But yeah, man, I feel like, everything's we put in a lot of hours, put in a lot of hours. People might think that we just showed up a couple years ago, but we've
You've been
we've
doing
We
it for
been
a
were
long time.
we were talking to your brother while we were out there, and he was telling us that the Airbnb was like a bomb. He was like, "You should see. We came here like 2 days early. Like it is just wrecked, but we'll get it cleaned up before we go." So, how is it traveling to these different festivals and getting like set up and everything? Because obviously, you're not in your backyard where you can just like get prepped, do it all like cleanly, carefully, whatever you need. You're like going around to this stuff. So like how is the traveling aspect of it and getting set
uh,
up for these festivals?
I think a lot of it is just like being able to be versatile, just being able to just simplifying but maximizing everything, and sometimes people are like, "Well, you only have one thing." It's like, dude, what else do you want? You got freaking tacos, bro.
Right?
Eat the
I
tacos, man.
Yeah. What else do you need?
but yeah, I try not to just say, I try not to waste, I just try to make everything with a lot of love and just man, I don't even know, dude, to be honest with you. Things just come to me and it just happens. Like honestly, like I'm not trying to be like trying to overthink the process of anything. You know, it's just like I know where it needs to get done, and it's just I just move on it. You know, and thank God for my brother and my wife because dude, I felt super guilty this flyover because it was our anniversary on day two, and I had her there cutting onions and limes, and I was just looking at her like, oh my god, like she's literally gonna leave me on our anniversary, bro.
Labor of
But
love right there.
dude, I know I looked at her, I was like, damn, dude, like I wouldn't blame her for being pissed, but she's not pissed.
That's
Dude,
awesome.
if you like fold the cilantro bushel, you know, it kind of looks like flowers, like arranged flowers, you
I
know,
know,
like you
right?
could here you go, honey.
I know,
I
right?
got you a nice gift.
It's been at it for so long that it's just like, dude, it just everything just comes natural, man, at all, like for sure. But
Yeah.
you know, it,
Is she into the music too? Does she like the stuff?
yeah, she listens to she's into a lot of it, but she's more into like 80s, like New
Hmm.
Order and Prince, and
Oh, cool.
yeah, The Cure. She loves The Cure.
Yeah.
She's more into that, but she'll listen to Bane and like Cro-Mags
Mm.
and
Sick.
Folsom and stuff like that
Yeah.
at times. But
That's
Sick.
cool.
man, it's yeah, it's just, I was just I think just move, man. I just move with what I have going, you know, and we'll see what happens, man. I'm pretty sure things are gonna go off at LDB. I have a yeah, and a lot of it's man, it's just I don't have the drive, dude. The drive freaking destroys me. You know what I mean? Driving the like I get out of work, or actually like okay, so I set up my truck the night before. I get out of work, load up whatever I need to load up, like fresh veggies or whatever I'm taking. You know, because the limes here in the Rio Grande Valley are nowhere like I love Oklahoma, you know, but as I keep going further north in Texas, the quality of what I'm used to is nowhere near towards what I need. You know what I mean?
All
Yeah.
right. So we just found the secret.
So,
The secret is the Rio Grande Valley limes is what made these
like
tacos
the
so damn
lime,
good.
Yeah.
dude, the tortillas I get them like from Mexico.
Oh,
So
sick.
Oh, that's legit.
yeah, and so it's a lot of it has to do with just you know how I told you like people just feel like they're being teleported towards where I'm from because this is these smells, these flavors, this is straight up just like valley like
So
living, man.
sick.
Like it's not it's not a like facade or a show or like, oh yeah, like you know, this is who I really am. This is who we are, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, you know, so
That's
That's legit.
incredible. Well, so you got LDB. Anything else in the works currently? Are you having conversations, or you're just seeing what's gonna hit your calendar for 26?
you know, did feel guilty knowing that I hadn't done a Valley show since August. So it's been literally like 7 months. And I was like, I told my brothers, like, dude, I didn't even realize, like, I was so busy, like, doing all these things. Where I was like, damn it, dude, like, this is home. You know what I mean? Like, if I don't have this, like, I don't, this is who I represent, right? But yeah, I told him, like, oh, hopefully when you guys have something going on, you know, some of the younger kids that are got into hardcore, they're doing Fear of Loss here in the valley in a couple of weeks. I hit them up. You know, Fear of Loss. uh, every time they come, either I'm selling or not, I'll make them a plate and I'll go drop it off. You know,
Hmm.
So sick.
yeah, just because I'm nowhere near their age group, but somehow I don't know what it is. I love those guys, man. Like every time I've gone to San Antonio, you know, they're just such good guys, such good kids, man. I only call them kids
Yeah.
because you know them like probably twice their age, but
You're the Theo bringing them
yeah,
tacos, you know?
that's what they
Yeah.
call them.
I'm sure they love that,
They
dude.
call me Theo for sure. Sure, I've earned that title. But nah, but yeah,
Yeah.
they're good guys. Like Maybe that one in the valley, but after, oh, you know what? Every year during Earth Day, I do like a little vegan festival here in the valley.
Mm.
My wife's a board member for Frontera Audubon, which is like a private uh, nature center. I'm really into birding as one of like my hobbies, I guess, and yeah, so I kind of do kind of like a fundraiser, like, but they're not involved in a fundraiser, but I organize it to fundraise for them. So I'll have like the
Mm.
event in their facilities.
Yeah,
Sick.
So it's like yeah, it's called Earth Day Veg Fest. So like yeah, this will be my fourth year doing it. So it's
that's
just
cool.
something, just to give like the vegan community here. So pretty
Cool.
good. Cool. Other than that,
So
nah,
sick.
I'm getting my passport. I guess, yeah, I took my pictures a couple of days ago, so I don't know where I might be going with that passport, but hey, I'm down to go
Listen,
anywhere and everywhere, man.
Yeah.
Revolution calling, man. Like, let's
Yeah,
get you out to I think that's Norway or something.
and imagine. I was this band from France. I forgot their name, but he told me, he's like, dude, if you play, they played here. It's some punk band. I forgot their name, but he's funny. He's a funny guy. He's a character, man. Hopefully, I can't even remember his name. But he told me, he's like, dude, you would make a killing in France selling these. But
Yeah. I bet if like someone from Norway, like I hear their food's not very good. If they ate tacos, their mind would just like blow. Their head would just blow up. Like I don't even know. I've never experienced flavors before. You go to England and it's like beans and
yeah,
toast. Nah,
yeah,
dude.
and I don't like. Yeah, I think of like European food does not sound very tasty,
Nah. Yeah, nah, dude.
and
I'm right there with you.
yeah, hopefully I'm not
So
offending anybody or anything like that.
Nah, man, you're good. You're good.
But
Well,
yeah,
listen, when we put together the Pit Therapy Festival, you guys
dude,
are our main food sponsor.
yeah, dude, I'm
Get Riff
down.
out of your bus.
yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. So,
Sick.
dude, before we end it, just to wrap up, like shout out Worst Behavior. They're dope. Go listen to Worst Behavior. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Any
man.
other like
Any other,
valley
yeah.
bands you kind of want to just shout out real quick, or just
Like,
any friend bands in general?
yeah, I guess like Mankind. They're the younger generation of our region, our area. Inconvenient Truth. Them two have really been putting in the work. You know what I mean? And it's just them seeing them consistently try to do something for our region, for here in the valley. I don't know, just everyone in Texas, man. Oklahoma for Ronnie. And those guys over there, where they're in, and just embracing us, and just rolling with the idea of us even going over there. I know, but it's
Yeah.
just blessed, man, blessed. At 43, you know, uh, I've had my seasons going in and out of hardcore, like being pushing or being like a part of, like, its phases. How much time you have, how much energy you can put into the scene, I just feel like there's so much more to do. It's just, I feel like it's just beginning.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty excited.
Which is crazy. Which is crazy coming from you from all you've done. So,
Yeah,
Thanks.
for real.
yeah.
Well, congrats on 10,000 served in 25. Let's make it 20 and 26.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, definitely.
Hell yeah.
It's a lot of
Ah,
tacos,
my
man.
man.
So cool, dude. Well, thank you so much for jumping on. And I don't know, man. If you're up north this way towards Dallas, hit me up.
I will,
So
for sure, man. For sure,
I'll
guys.
come get some
Appreciate it.
tacos too. But all right, man.
Dope. All right.
Yeah,
Thanks, Adam.
appreciate it.